business proposal is a letter or a document used to invite or propose cooperation between organizations. If the rates are not feasible, then obviously he will not continue the business. So that is why quotation is required. Request to follow up. You just write a proposal and leave it off there, that doesn't work out. You need to follow it up. Sometimes when you apply for government projects, it will be like you have to apply within such and such a date. Okay, so that is the reason the date of quotation is very much important. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand one of the letters prescribed by University of MYSURU for 4th Sem B.B.A. This is under your business correspondence section. So today we are going to understand about offers and quotations, how to write a letter for offer and how to write a quotation. Offer is nothing but a business proposal. So we'll start with the quotation and then go on to the business proposal. So in today's session, we are going to understand the meaning of offer and quotation. Why do we write a quotation? What is the use of a quotation? Then what are the contents that should be there in a price quotation? We'll also look into a sample quotation, also the drawback of a quotation. So here we will go hand in hand with the business proposal also, because business proposal is a part of quotation. You need to write a business proposal in order to send a quotation. Fine. So let us begin our session now by understanding the meaning of quotation. So what is a quotation now? A quotation is a bridge that ensures that an inquiry turns into a business transaction. Suppose somebody comes and inquires about any of the products or any of the business you are doing. You will be waiting to turn those prospective customers into the regular customers. Fine. So this will happen through the quotation. The way in which you present the quotation and the business proposal will actually work out, and the prospective customers will become the clients. A price quotation is a commercial document that lays out for the customer what the fixed cost would be in exchange for the goods or service provided. So this is basically you are giving an idea to the client as to what you are providing and what will be the cost for that. Okay, so this is actually a commercial document. Fine. A quotation will only be valid for a limited period. Why is that? Why is it valid only for a limited period? That is because price fluctuation. Price will be varying. Price of the goods or service what you provide, that price will be varying frequently. So that is the reason it is valid only for a limited period. Suppose somebody is giving a quotation, means that might be valid for 15 days or maybe 1 month. That is fixed by the business person. That is the person who is giving the quotation. So that is valid for a limited period. So what is the meaning of an offer or a business proposal? A business proposal is a letter or a document used to invite or propose cooperation between organizations. If at all I want to have a collaboration with another organization, what do? First, I need to introduce my business to them, isn't it? Suppose you want to work with somebody, you introduce yourself to them. Suppose I am going to apply for some job, I am going to introduce myself to them. How do? I do it with the help of a job application and my biodata, isn't it? That is also more or less similar to this business proposal. There it is only a candidate who is working for an organization, but here it is a collaboration of two organizations, of two businesses. So here it is a letter of correspondence only. It is a letter or a document that shows, that tells about the businessman. Fine. The cooperation can be in the form of agreements to supply products and or services. Okay, it can be both, to supply products and services, or maybe supply of products, or maybe the providing the services. Okay, so it can be of any form, but there will be an agreement. Okay, it can be MOU, that is mutual agreement what they do. Okay, so memorandum of understanding also can be a way here in which they can collaborate their business. This outlines the business benefits that the cooperation provides. So since we are talking about business, this is completely, we are talking in terms of business only. The language that has to be used is business only. So the cooperation between whatever collaboration happens between two organizations. Okay, so this outlines, this proposal tells about all the advantages that will be there because of this cooperation. Fine. Suppose I am collaborating with some other organization. What are the advantages like that? For example, we just give you an example of two companies that collaborated, like TVS Suzuki or maybe Maruti Suzuki, something like this. So two business come together, firms come together, and they will be providing the people some new thing. Okay, so this is nothing but collaboration. So before that, before this car coming to this market, maybe Suzuki company would have sent a business proposal to Maruti company. They would have collaborated, and in their proposal or in the letter of proposal or the document, they would have cited all these. Okay, they would have told that this is what is going to happen. So this car will be launched. So these are the cars that will be launched. These are the variants. So everything will be specified over there. Okay, so that is nothing but the offer letter or the proposal letter. That is what is meant by the outlines of the benefits that are there due to that collaboration. Okay, so this is the meaning of a business proposal. So going further, we need to understand why we need to write the quotation. Okay, what is the use of a quotation? What are the reasons for a business firm to write a quotation? So this quotation ensures that there is a customized price for the customer for services inquired. Okay, so suppose somebody is coming and inquiring something to me, there will be a rate fixed for some product or maybe some service, right? Suppose somebody walks in and asks me, how much do you charge for transporting one thing from here to there or supplying some goods or anything? I cannot just tell any rate according to my whims and fancies, isn't it? I have to have a fixed rate for that. Suppose somebody comes and asks, what is the price of this pen? I need to have a fixed rate for that. For one customer, I cannot give it for 10 rupees. For another customer, I cannot sell it for 15 rupees. There is a fixed rate for that. Similarly, in quotation also, for whatever services that are offered, for whatever goods that are supplied, for everything, there will be a fixed rate here. Okay, so it helps in building customer relationships as it helps the business and customers understand each other. So this business proposal goes before this quotation. Okay, so this helps the customers in order to understand the business. So the customer and the business relationship will be very firm. It will be well developed because the people who are supplying will be able to understand the customers very well. Okay, so it helps the business understand the psychology and behavior of the customer in terms of pricing. Whenever it comes to pricing, maybe the customer will feel that this is too costly or too expensive. Okay, sometimes he feels that it is not up to the mark and they are charging too high, or maybe it is a very good quality and the price that they are offering is not competitive. So there are various reasons for the customer to drop the business relationship. But in a quotation, when it comes to for a discussion, okay, when it is a business proposal and then the quotation will be filed, the business firm can understand the mentality of the customers and this quotation will actually help them. Okay, so when a quotation is given, then consumer or the customer can come for a discussion. He can do some delegation and then he can get the product or the service. Okay, so this helps in understanding the mentality of the customers. Then this provides a price quotation wherein it has greater transparency. Okay, so you have everything on paper. That means that consumer or the customer has a record of how much he has paid there. Okay, how much is his payment, what is the cost that he has shelled out. Okay, this has some transparency and openness with the customer. What does this help in? This facilitates the relationship again based on trust. Okay, so just a relationship, like any relationship in this world, is actually based on trust. Then customer and the business relationship also is based on trust. First of all, if it is very transparent, then trust will be more over there. Okay, even in your friendship, you share all the happenings or all the feelings with your friends. Of course, the trust will be more over there. Okay, any relationship for that matter, even with your parents, isn't it? Similarly, business relationship also, if trust is more, the relationship will be good, and if the relationship is good, the business will flourish. Okay, so quotation that helps in such a kind of relationship. Then this helps the business exercise greater control over the fluctuation of prices. Suppose I charge, let me take a simple example of this pen only. Suppose I am selling this pen for 10 rupees. Okay, so tomorrow there will be a fluctuation in prices and this will be raised for 15 rupees. So tomorrow onwards, I'll start selling it for 15 rupees. Day after tomorrow, probably there is another fluctuation and this will reduce. I'll sell it for 12 rupees. Then of course, the customers will think twice in order to buy this. So what happens when you give a quotation? There will be a rate fixed. Fine. Suppose I give a quotation to my client that I'll be supplying maybe some dozens of pens wherein each piece will cost 12 rupees. Even if the market rate is 10 rupees, I'll be supplying it for 12 rupees. Even if the market rate fluctuates up to 15 rupees, I have to supply it for 12 rupees only. Okay, so that will actually benefit the consumer in the second case. In the first case, the businessman, that is I, will be making a profit. Okay, so but you can observe here that when there is a quotation, then you have to abide by the rules that are there. You have to abide by the terms and conditions that were set there. You need to supply the goods or provide services based on the fixed rate that is there in the quotation. So that is the reason quotation is very much required. So these are various reasons for which the quotation is required. Okay, then going further, why do you write this quotation? There are two more reasons to add on for this. Price quotation also, they help in enhancing the brand image as it portrays a sense of purpose and professionalism. Suppose I am running a business and I don't have a quotation only. Somebody comes and asks me to supply 10, suppose we were taking this example of a pen. We'll continue with that only. Suppose somebody comes, some client comes and inquires to supply 10 dozens of pens. Okay, I don't give him a quotation. I simply go and supply this. So what will happen? He'll feel they are not a professional, they are not in a professional way of running business. Why does he feel so? Because nothing will be there in writing. So that's the reason the client might feel that. So writing a quotation, providing a quotation actually shows professionalism. Okay, that also shows a purpose for which you are writing this quotation. That is why quotation is required. In terms and conditions and pricing of the services offered will be clearly stated, thus enabling the customer to make their easier decisions. So here they can decide easily based on the terms and conditions, isn't it? As I said earlier, it will be written on a paper. Okay, it will be there in black and white. It is very easy for the consumer or the client to decide based on the terms and conditions. He can decide whether to go further with the business or not. Okay, it is very easy for the consumer to talk about the rates. If the rates are not feasible, then obviously he will not continue the business. So that is why quotation is required. Fine. Then reasons for writing a proposal. As I told you, quotation and proposal go hand in hand. Okay, so proposal is also equally important. So here you can send a business proposal letter as a part of response to a request for information about your business. Before giving a quotation, you need to write a business proposal. Okay, so first the business proposal will go to the organization wherein you are thinking of starting a collaboration. Then goes the quotation based on their order. Fine. So this goes as an information letter. Then you could send business proposal letters to prospective clients. Prospective means who are going to be future clients. Okay, so prospective clients to introduce your company and the products you provide. So these information will be there in the proposal and that will reach the customers. That means the future clients. Prospective clients are nothing but future clients and this has to reach them. Fine. So then we need to understand about what are the contents that should be there in a price quotation. So when you write a quotation, what are the things that should be there? Okay, what should the price quotation contain? So this will contain the total cost to the client. So this has to be client friendly. Okay, this cannot be understood only by me. If at all I don't want to be transparent, then obviously I will include all the manipulations there and the client will not understand. But here this has to be transparent because business will build up based on trust only. So that is why it has to have the total cost to the client first. Okay, so then table showing the breakup price. So each and every product, that is unit price, should be there, each component of service provided. Then it also should have a quotation number. Yes, for formal letters you will have this letter numbers, right? Like that, this quotation also will have a quotation number. Sometimes it will be purchase order number also. Okay, so it will be in the form of purchase order, or you can also call it as PO. I'll show you in the sample how it is written. Okay, so sometimes it can be PO also. Then what is the date of issue of quotation? Why does this matter? Sometimes when you apply for government projects, it will be like you have to apply within such and such a date. Okay, so that is the reason the date of quotation is very much important. Then comes terms and conditions. What are the conditions that you are giving to the client for which he has to agree, or maybe there can be a discussion. So terms and conditions, for example, it can be like if at all there is a fluctuation of rates. Okay, so that time what will happen? As I told you, as I gave you an example of this pen, suppose there is a fluctuation in the rate of pen, that is per piece, then will you be supplying it for the same rate? Best example is the gold rate. Okay, you suppose give some money and book for that date and you buy it on Akshaya Tritiya. So that time you will be buying it for this rate only. Fine. So this way you are supposed to write some terms and conditions which tells that the goods supplied or maybe the service that will be provided will be for an earlier date wherein the quotation was issued. Then we have the business name or trade name. That means the letterhead, you can have it there. Fine. Then you have the address and contact details. Of course, this is a must. You know that. Fine. Then period for which the quotation remains valid. So what is the validity of the quotation? There will be an expiry date for that also because of the fluctuation of rates. So you need to mention the validity of this quotation. Then we have this incidental costs. If at all in between there are some costs that are included, shipping costs maybe, or maybe some wrapping costs, if at all there are, that is required. Okay, any incidental costs or unforeseen expenses, so that also can be included over here. Then signature of the customer to show that it is actually accepted by him. Then date by which the order must be made. So by when order has to be placed in order to supply these goods at the prescribed rate, at the fixed rate. So this is very much important. So these are the things that should be there in a price quotation. Okay, then how do you write a business proposal? So before writing a quotation, you need to write a business proposal, right? How do you write it? What are the contents that should be there? Here, you need to write a business header first. Okay, business header will contain a logo, then a letterhead also. Okay, you ought to have a letterhead in order to show that you are professional. Fine. Then the address of the recipient should be there. To whom you are writing, that address will be here. Then also you will include the relevant background details. Okay. So why you are making this business proposal, and also you are writing about the business. Okay. Suitable background details should be there. Then state the purpose of the proposal. Why you are writing this proposal? You are going to write about your business and then you are going to write why you are writing this proposal. Fine. Then you also include a request to follow up. You just write a proposal and leave it off there. That doesn't work out. You need to follow it up. Isn't it? Suppose you go somewhere and you don't get the service what you asked for. You either will go to a different shop, or if you trust that person in a business relationship, you will follow it up. isn't it? As you are given a homework in school and you will be going on asked by the teacher, isn't it? Have you done the homework? Have you done the homework? That is nothing but following up. Similarly, that happens in business also. So that business, the proposal, whatever is given, so whether that is fruitful or not, you need to check in order to expand your business. So you have to request for follow up also. Then you need to close the letter appropriately, means that should be a formal language and it will have a closing, complimentary closing also. You are telling that the letter is going to be closed, and you will also include some suitable documentation, supporting documentation. Suppose you are providing some service, okay, very good quality service. For example, say you are running a movers and packers business. So you are providing a very good service. So you need to provide some testimony of the customers, or maybe you can provide some pictures which speak about the quality of service what you provide. Okay, so this is very much important. You ought to include supporting documentation. Like you have achieved something, you will have documents, right? You have, suppose you have won some gold medal or something, you will have a certificate and also a gold medal. You have studied something, you will have some documentation. You will have marks card or a certificate or anything like that. Okay, so for that you need to include supporting documentation also. This is what should be there in a business proposal. Okay, so now what are the contents of a business proposal? It should be in this order. Okay, so sender's name should be there, sender's address. As I told you before, this is more or less the format of a formal letter only. Okay, this will be written in the format of a formal letter. If you observe, you can see this is sender's name and address. Okay, don't know the name, you can just write the designation. Okay, you don't want to mention the name, you can just write the designation also. Then you have the date, then receiver's address, to whom you are writing the letter. Okay, so that is there. Then the subject, that is subject line, you just give a short introduction about what you are writing. Then you have this salutation, how do you address that person. Then you have the content, actual content, that is the body of the letter. Then you have this complimentary close. Then you have the sender's name. This can be replaced by designation of the person. Okay, that is the sender's designation also can be written over here. Fine. This is more or less the format of a formal letter only. You need not have to worry about it. Okay. So this is what and all are included in a sample business proposal. Okay, so let us have a look at a sample quotation now. So how do you write a quotation? You must mention that it is a quotation. This is purely a template made by the company. Okay, this need not be like I have shown. Okay, you can put that quotation in the middle, you can write the letterhead, everything over there, but what and all should be there, I am telling you. Okay, so your company name will be there, address also will be there, and to address, to whom you are giving this quotation to, that one will be there. And here this is company address, and here actually this date will be there. Fine. So date can be any form. Okay, it need not have to be like that, it has to be elaborate also, that is also fine. Okay, then you have this quotation number. Okay, and customer ID, for each and every client you will have an ID fixed. Okay, if it is a if at all it is a prospective customer, you will allot an ID and you will write it. Okay, this also, it purely depends on the business firm that is allotting the ID. If you want to allot an ID, you can do it. If not, it is okay, that is also optional. Then to when the quotation is valid. Okay, it is written on 1st 2025 and it is valid till 10th Jan 25, like that. Okay, so then any instruction, extra information you need to add, that is optional, but these are the things that have to be there. But this again depends on the type of quotation you are writing, type of business you are providing. Okay, so here if at all you are going to provide some service, then it is a different thing. If you are going to supply some goods, that is a different thing. Okay, but it should contain who is doing the sales and the purchase order number. As I told you, the quotation number will be there. There will be a purchase order number, and when will this be transit? When is it going to be shipped? Person who is shipping it, like you have e-cart or maybe DHL, this courier services you have, right? So all that you can specify. Okay, so FOB point, the point at which it has to reach. Okay, so that is there. And also terms and conditions that will be due on receipt means you can either print it behind this quotation, or there can be a separate sheet for which can be attached for this terms and conditions. Okay, then what is the quantity, what are the goods you are going to supply, and also the unit price per unit for 1 unit, what is it you are telling, and then what is the tax. You now have GST, SGST, everything, right? So that you will be specifying, and what is the total amount here. Okay, apart from that, you will also be specifying what is the sales tax. Fine, all that will be specified here. And if you have any questions concerning this quotation, please contact whom. Okay, the contact person's name is also given. So this is how you write a quotation. Though this is not a fixed format, few things that are very much essential are all here. So this quotation actually depends on the company which is going to decide. Fine. So we can now have a look at the sample proposal letter. Okay, how do you write a proposal letter? You are introducing your company, as I said. Okay, so this is actually the format of a formal letter only. I'll just show you what and all is there. So this is a letter. This letter is to propose computer repair and all. So this tells what is the service that is being provided here and what is the actual content here. Okay, you are introducing your company here. Fine, what you are going to do here, and also it is going to end here, the end paragraph. Okay, so the closing paragraph. So as I told you, it has to be 3 paragraphs only. Then you have the closing salutation, name of the person, and the signature. Okay, so signature is optional. Okay, designation has to be there. Fine, so this is the format in which you write a business proposal. Okay, yes, there are many drawbacks that are there for a quotation. Okay, what is it? Just now I told you what is the format of a quotation, and I also told you this is not the prescribed format. You can write it in your own way. Okay, so templates are actually basic and generic. There will be fixed templates. You can just utilize it. Okay, you don't have your own templates. If you want, you can design it. It is actually fixed. Like few things have to be there, that will be there. You cannot make it in your innovative way, isn't it? If you try to design your own, that obviously will be creating confusion in the clients. Okay, that will be usually basic and generic, and these templates are unlikely to give business any competitive advantage. It is not a promise that it is going to fetch any business or so. Okay, so it doesn't promise any business, but that is also a drawback. Based on the quotation, based on the way you present it, that has to actually get some business, but you can do it in proposal letter. Okay, business proposal letter, that can take over, but in quotation that is not possible. Okay, any edits or changes made to the quotation document is usually a time consuming process. If at all you want to change your quotation style, that again will become a time consuming process. Okay, so you need to follow the same quotation every time, because once you change something, maybe there will be a confusion in reading or maybe towards the client. Okay, so that is the reason you cannot make many changes frequently in a quotation. Lack of security and privacy is a big worry when it comes to Word and Excel. If at all you are creating it in Word or Excel, of course it is, the privacy is a threat. Okay, yes, you can apply some password or anything like that, but not everybody will be able to access. Again, that is also a time consuming. Suppose the person who has prepared the quotation is not there, the person who has given the password is not there, then the person who has to access it, it will be very difficult. Okay, so that is also a drawback again here. Storage is not secure. As I told you, password you have to give it. If you give it, it has to be given to everybody. It is as good as not giving a password. So storage is not secure, as in the event of a system crash, there is a high possibility of losing the data permanently. If at all you are using a digitalized quotation part, then it is very difficult for you to store it, because there is a threat of system crash there. Yes, you can send it to your mail and all, but of course again that will be burden on this mail only. Okay, so storage is also again a drawback for this quotations. Okay, yes, by this we reach the end of this session. So we have learned about quotations and business proposals. So let us meet again in another more interesting session, that is another letter writing from your business correspondence section. So keep learning, children. See you shortly. Bye bye. Take care.